Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be working in this little art journal that I made. So this is one of the little notebooks that I made out of all of this scrapbooking paper that I just couldn't find a use for. So the first thing that I am going to do on here is gesso my pages, because this paper is no heavier than copy paper. Now that weight of paper will work fine, but you have to, at least I've found that I have to put a coat of gesso on here first to be able to make this something that I can use. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on here yet. So this is for a mixed media group that I joined, and we're kind of all learning to do this together. And the prompt for this week, or for this month's 2-page spread, was rain, which kind of, I kind of decided to sit down and do this today because our weather is actually quite warm here right now. It's been way up above freezing now for 4 or 5 days, and we've got some nice weather coming, but it does say that we have rain in our forecast starting this afternoon and lasting for almost 48 hours from the weather report. Now, I'm hoping it doesn't last that long. So that really pushed the color on that page back quite a bit. Now, I didn't have any gesso, but at a yard sale a couple years ago, it's not anything that I've ever bought, but at a yard sale a couple of years ago, I bought a bunch of art crafting supplies, really cheap. There was a tote full of supplies, all kinds of different crafts, and in that was this acrylic medium clear gesso and another bottle of clear gesso. And I didn't need 2 that dried clear. I wanted a white gesso, and this was so thick I couldn't put a paintbrush in it. So what I did was added some acrylic craft paint, just the 2 ounces of acrylic craft paint. I added about 1.5 ounces of acrylic paint to this. Maybe not that much, maybe 1 ounce of acrylic paint to this, and I watered it down a little bit so that I could brush it on. And in my journal that I'm using, I've got 2 strips of wax paper. So I put a strip of wax paper down here to put this page on, and I put another strip behind here, and I just used my painter's tape, this stuff that you get from the dollar store. And that's what I've done. So I'm going to dry this and figure out what my next step is going to be. Okay, so I think I'm going to use some inks on here. I have a few things that I'm not quite sure how they work, and this is a learning process for me. So I have my texture paste. This is really thick. I have a spreader, and I have this stencil that has a bee on it and all of this honeycomb pattern, which I think I'm going to use that honeycomb pattern up in this top corner. This is very, very thick. This is something that I'm not used to, is using a stencil in a way that is purposeful like this. I've usually just put texture paste down and just spread it to make texture. This is one of those things that came in that box as well. But I thought, oh, wow, that turned out quite well, I think. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm doing with this. This is very thick texture paste, and I guess maybe that's supposed to be like that. I thought maybe it was drying up. So if you can hear that, we've got a train going by. I live in a small town and we have a train track that goes right through the middle of town. I could pretty much throw a stone at it from my house. So texture. Wow. I'm gonna let this dry for a minute. Okay, so this texture is dry, or dry enough, I think, to work on top of. And it's gone down really well. So down in here and up in here, I want to collage a few papers in there. So I went ahead and I grabbed my coffee dyed papers, my vintage, this is the color of this. It's just a vintage. Oh, is there a cover on this? It's drum methods for drums. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this, just a few little pieces. I want maybe some of that. This is just a notebook. I'm thinking that these colors, this is coffee dyed, but this is the natural paper color for this. And this is just a piece out of this notebook that's that color. This notebook has, I think this came from Temu. And there's some more right there with some pretty script on it. So I'm going to use these and I'm going to collage some on here. And once again, I'm just going to go for my Elmer's glue. My Elmer's glue in here in my this is my little dish. And I'm going to spray it down a bit. I'm going to stir this up really well. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to use it to put these papers down. So whatever I do up there, I'm going to put some down here as well. So I have a little bit of music down. I'm going to put some script down here. I'm going to let it run the wrong way on the page because I just think that looks better sometimes. And because this is just texture, I don't care which way that runs. If you're wondering this, I think I mentioned though that this is wax paper behind my pages. So I'm going to take a chunk of this and put it just maybe in here. I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to put this, I guess. Some of that coffee's coming out of that paper. And I'm going to grab a little chunk of this for here. Like that. And I think I need a little bit of that. And I'm going to take this glue, I'm going to put a coat of it over my whole page. And I'm hoping that this will work like Mod Podge in a way that it will seal the stencil and allow my ink to run around it and through it. And we're going to see, guys. We're just going to see. So this is dry to the touch. And I can feel all kinds of texture, different kinds in opposite corners. And I'm going to take, I've only got 3 bottles of alcohol ink. These came as a set, and I think I played with them once when I first got them, and I never got them back out again. So I've got this, it's called Butterscotch Caramel. And I've got this Wild Plum and this, what is this called? It's called Stream. Wow. So this is supposed to be rain. Maybe we'll do the stream on here because I think this needs a pop of color. And we'll see what happens with this. Because I have some, like how do I do this now? I've watched so many people do this. Oh, isn't that cool? Yes. Let's let that run through there. Wow, this is pretty cool. So I encourage you, if you've been like me and want to try things and then you buy the supplies and you don't actually try it. Let me see what happens if you put. Yes, let's see now. I'm just letting this run and drip. And of course, it's not going in a straight line because it's just not. What if I put the water on first and then put some of this in here and see what happens? That's the way to do it. Oh, wow. Isn't that something? I want some up here. And of course, there's lots of texture up in there with the paper as well. So I wonder what'll happen when this blooms over top of that. I just think that this color is going to look so... Oh, look at my hands. Oh, I bet you this stuff doesn't come off either. And I want a little bit in there. So I'm going to go and see if this comes off, because I'll bet you it doesn't. And I have it over both my hands. So is there an easier way to do that, or do I just get messy, like they say? I'm going to go see. So yeah, I gave this a minute to dry while I was scrubbing my hands, and then I hit it with the heat as well. I scrubbed and it didn't come completely off, so there's that. But my next step is I want to put something on top of this that's going to fit the rainy day theme, and it's just rain is the theme that I'm going with. But I have this rainy day ATC Lover cut and collage book, so it's got some smaller images in it, and I thought I'd cut out a few and just pop them around the page. Now, all the images on this page were this beautiful orange tone, and that's why I decided to go with this type of a background, because I thought these would just look so pretty, just kind of like this. So maybe this one down here, and the umbrella. Maybe like this. I'm gonna have to glue that handle in place, but so maybe like this more so. And I have this horse, absolutely stunning, and this beautiful window. So how am I going to do this? Maybe I'm going to put the window, the boots, and the umbrella like this. And then a little bit of this scrub brush type of plant down here, and this gorgeous horse like that. And I'm going to look for a sentiment for this. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And I am going to glue this down with my art glitter glue. making sure that I have glue all the way down to the ends of these points here, because this is textured and I want to make sure that this stays on here. There. So I've got enough glue on there that that should stay down even with all that texture behind it. I'm putting a little more glue than I would normally use if I was just gluing paper to paper. So the boots and the umbrella, definitely a rain theme happening here. I love that turquoise blue. What was that called? Oh, it was called Stream. And it's so pretty. And I love how it went light where I put the water, and then it's got these really rich dark bits as well. This color, this rich golden color, just looks perfect on this background. Here, I think at this point, I can take this tape off. And then I can take these out of here. Oh yes, taking the wax paper away does wonders. So is that not just the prettiest page? I kind of love how it turned out. So now I have to look for a sentiment. And so I looked and couldn't find a quote that I liked. So I just wrote something out. It's just so easy to go online and Google quotes about rain, the most famous quotes about rain. But this is part of a quote. I didn't bother even to go and look and see where it came from. But it says, rain is not only drops of water, it is the love of the sky for the earth. And I thought that I'm trying to figure out whether I want this to go over here or I want it to go here. And I think I'm going to put it here, just like this. So I just wrote this out on a piece of paper, and this is the paper that I used. I bought a notebook, like a 3-ring binder at Value Village, I believe it was. And it had a stack of papers in it, and they'd been in there so long that they had yellowed. And the edges, some of them are really yellow, some of them are like this. So this is the natural color of it. I backed it with a piece of what is this? This is that, it's sticky on one side. It's for making labels. So the label paper you get from Dollarama. And then I cut it out because I wanted it, this is really thin paper, like it's really thin. And everything in the background would have showed through. So if I put this down here, I get to see all the different kinds of paper around it. And I can see everything else on the page. So that's what I'm going to do. There, so I'm going to put this. I want to be able to see this script, the music paper, this script, and the doily. And this way I get to see it all. There. So I want to do one more thing on here before I'm done, or maybe two. I haven't decided yet if I'm going around the page with anything. I don't know that I will, but I'm going to grab my liquid pearls and see what I've got that I can use on here. I don't use these near enough. This is slate. This is just pearl drops. Just the pearl. And I'm thinking I want to put little groups on here, and I'm just going to put down let's see if that helps. So I'm just going to put down a little pearl like that. And then I'm just going to pull it up so that it makes, instead of leaving it as a pearl, I'm going to pull it up and turn it into a drop. Just a few on each page. There, and then I'm going to let those dry. That's it for now. So if you enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up. Let the YouTube algorithms know that you're watching. My goodness. And let me know if you're enjoying these double page spreads in my little mixed media this year. I'll be doing one a month as per requested by the little mixed media group. I think it's just called Canadian Mixed Media on Facebook. And I lied. I am going to do one more thing. I'm just going to go around this. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd absolutely love if you did that before you left. Come on back and see what else I'm up to. I'll see everyone in the next video. And until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a really great day. Bye.